In this video, I'll show you how to make your own gray water tank that you do not have to take out of your vehicle to empty, step by step. This is the supplies and tools you'll need to make the gray water tank. 7-gallon aqua container, CPAP tubing, 72 inches, a stick or a dowel, 90-degree elbow with 3/4 inch PVC pipe. You'll have to cement that in ahead of time. Rain drip end plug with 3/4 inch thread and cap. Uniseal adapter plug. 4 inches of PVC pipe with threads at one end, a zip tie, some silicone, some tape, a measuring tape, an 1.25 inch spade bit, some scissors, and a drill. Okay, so the hardest part of this is getting this inside the tank. So there's lots of parts and pieces here, but we're really gonna just take this step by step, and I'll show you how it works as we go. Now this piece here is gonna be inside, and it's gonna be pointing down just like it is here. And we're gonna try to get it as low to the bottom as we can, because that's how low it's gonna draw the water out of this tank. And we don't wanna leave 1 or 2 inches of water. We want it all to go out. So we'll start by measuring 4 inches up, and then drilling a hole, and then installing this on the inside. Okay, so you want this hole to be nice and smooth and perfect as possible. So I recommend not using the spade bit. Maybe a 1.25 inch hole saw, I think, would give you a lot cleaner cut. So this is the most important step. So you have to take your time and be careful. This hole has to be perfectly round and smooth. If it's not, it will leak, and you'll have to buy a whole new container and start over again. So do not use the spade bit like we did, and our first one did leak and we had to start over. So now we've got a hole saw. We're going to create a lot smoother circle, and this seal will be able to sit in there and do its job. So if you look at the box, this side of the Reliance container is nice and smooth. If you turn it over here, you can see this has got graphics on it. So we are not going to do it on the graphic side, because that could create a leak. All right, we already ruined this container, so we thought we'd do a few different tests to find you an easier way to make a hole and not have to buy a new tank like we did. So what we found works best is we just pre-drill a hole, you know, right where you need the hole to be, and then you're gonna fit the drill bit that's on the end of your hole saw into that hole and get it spinning before you touch the plastic. And then just keep slow, even pressure on it until the hole goes through. Now I've got my feet holding the tank from spinning because we don't want it to spin, and we'll go ahead and give it a shot here. And that's a lot smoother hole. We're using 220 grit sandpaper just to lightly sand off the plastic burrs. And you want to get it in there underneath and get any of the burrs that are on the inside all the way around, and then finish off just by making sure there's no ridges on the hole on the top. And that's how your hole should look, nice and clean, no burrs, nice and smooth all the way around for that gasket to seal on. All right, so the next step is to stick this 4-inch piece of 3/4 inch PVC pipe into the tank, and that will spread that seal out and make it tight. Now it doesn't have to be threaded at the end, but we found the threaded ones at the end are easier to get the end of the CPAP right on them. They just fit better. So we're gonna push this all the way in and leave it 1 inch and 3/4 out. So there it is. I marked it on the pipe itself so I knew how far to push it in. And that will give plenty of length to get the CPAP hose on there. This is the most difficult step of this whole process. So what we have to do is get this PVC pipe down in the tank to hook on to the PVC pipe that we put through the tank. To do that, we can't stick our hand in here because that'd be too easy. So we're gonna use this dowel. We're gonna put some tape on the end of it, make it nice and snug to where it's not gonna fall off the stick. And we're gonna send it down in there with some silicone on it and push it into that pipe that we have on the inside of the tank. So have some patience on this part, knowing that it's gonna be the most difficult, but you'll get it. So before you silicone this, make sure you put it in and dry fit it. Make sure that everything reaches and it's comfortable. And then go ahead and put the silicone on it. Our first tube of silicone was no good, so we went with some flex glue. It's made for underwater, so it should serve the purpose here. And here it goes. Okay, notice if I just kind of pull down on this a little bit, I can get it into position where I can get that pipe to fit better. And I just push it on. And once it's set, I can hold it for a while, and then I'll pull the stick out. All right, now I'm just gonna grab this PVC pipe and I'm gonna spin that elbow around. Right about there, looks good. All right, now for the easy parts, and this is why I like the CPAP tubing. Okay, so when I put this on, it's wanting to twist, and I want to make sure that pipe stays down. So I'm just going to hold it here with a pair of pliers and twist it all the way on the rest of those threads. Right there. Perfect. And then I'm just going to put a zip tie on to make sure it doesn't come off. I actually don't think it will come off. But we're going to put one on anyway. Okay. All right, this is the last step. This is the rain drip plug with an end cap. And all we got to do is twist it on. And that's it. It's on there so tight that we're not even going to zip tie it. All right, so the last part is hooking it up to the sink. Now the lid itself has threads in it, and depending on your setup, you may be able to thread right into this lid. And I'm going to use our old lid because we already have it set up for 1 1/4 inch tubing. And you can see we cut 1 1/4 inch hole right in the lid, so we can screw it right back on there. And then put our 1 1/4 inch pipe right through the lid. Now you want that hole to be as tight as you can be, and you may have to seal that if you're getting smell that's coming back up through it. And then we connect it right up. It's ready to go. As you can see, we do not have a lot of room between the bottom of our sink and the gray water tank. And lots of people have said that we need a P-trap. So a P-trap eliminates any smell from coming up because it traps water inside. But what we found is our sink has a sealed plug in it. And as long as we seal this area around the hose with plumber's tape or putty, that we don't have a smell problem. All right, so just a quick demonstration on how this works. You're gonna grab this hose and it's gravity fed, so if you hold it up in the air and then undo the cap, when you put it down on the ground, that's when the water starts flowing.
And this is just clean lake water that we put in here for demonstration purposes.
So the first tank we installed was 10 months ago, and everything was smooth. It worked perfectly. We've never had a problem. This tank here we built on the road with the tools we had. We had a little leak on the seal because our hole wasn't perfectly round. We did use a little bit of silicone. We haven't had a problem with it since. So don't give up, just keep working at it and push on. So if you found this video helpful, maybe it gave you some good ideas, please hit that thumbs up button. If you have any comments, please ask, we'd love to answer them. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. That's where the dowel comes in. What we're gonna do is we are gonna stick, is that right?
That's the wrong side.
I knew it wasn't going well. Wow, I pulled the stick out all right. The pipe out too.
Now what?